Shipping a classic car can be a pivotal moment. So, what's involved? What do you wish you knew now that you don't want to find out later the hard way? Christopher Carter is an author, a tech CEO. He's got a background in the music industry and he loves classic cars. He's shipped domestic and international, and he's got the advice that you need now before you ship that precious collector's item. So please say hello, join the live chat, feel welcome. This is ATI Auto Business, and it is show 403. We are going to talk about shipping a collector car, classic car. We've got Chris. Now, who's Chris Arroyo? Well, he has shipped, as I said, domestic and international, and he loves classic cars, and he's a tech CEO. He's been on other podcasts. He's an author, music industry background, and I think he's going to also talk about what SAP is. Now, I realize that, content gets dicey, right? How do you pick a guest? How do you decide, what is going to make a show? I mean, there's some channels where, the host never leaves the screen even though they haven't talked in 5 or 10 minutes. So content is whatever I guess we say it is. And Chris said, man, I want to come on your podcast and I want to do a show. So I said, all right, I'll tell you what. You can get to know more of our ecosystem. We'll get to know car shippers like you because it is hard to get a show with a car shipper. That's not easy to put together because it's more of a industry of, people behind the scenes. And that's why I say Automotive Ecosystem Tuesday nights. What the last Tuesday night show I did, by the way, can you hear me okay? Mic check 1, 2, 3. Please say hello in the live chat. And by the way, what I wonder is that the current, let's check that out. Is that the current live chat? I'm not actually sure if that is. Let's do this. Let's try that. All right. Do me a favor. If you're here, do me a favor, type a check 1, 2, 3 for me. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. So we had mystery car shopping at the dealership. That was a pretty good show. It was really good conversation. And in fact, if you go to YouTube, and you know what, 100 views for mystery shopping a car dealership, that's not bad. Hey, Elijah, let's see if you popped up in the live chat. That's sweet. It works. Thanks for saying hello. What's up, Bill? What's up, Elijah? Thank you so much. That's super cool. And you'll notice that the more you type, the higher you rank in the live chat ranking, live chatter, in case that's important. But if you go to the Mystery Shopping a Car Dealership show and you can, dealership training and all that stuff, but what is mystery shopping a dealership and how can that help me? We talked about it. I like to branch off. What, depending on what you do, can it help you? Mystery shopping? What is mystery shopping? And all that jazz. Industry Logistics is the show on Thursdays. We did this one dry run fee request tonight. I got some great news. We did this show. It was fun. It was amazing. It was better than corporate tool nonsense. And we told you what happened. Why was this a show? There was a post on LinkedIn, and we did the follow-up because that's what we do at ATI. And what's so cool is finally, I guess, Charles says the company's actually going to pay him a dry run fee. Applause button. That means corporate shame works. So what I'm not going to do, and what this about me, what I don't do is I don't do business boring safe ideas. And what's so great about this list is I continue to see companies their articles are falling right into this stuff. Actually, shoveling leadership is down, which is awesome. Future speculation couldn't be more rampant. I mean, There's one show on one of the traditional automotive media channels. It's all speculation. Oh my God. Awards for No Reason is ramping up. There will continue to be more and more awards for no reason. Oh my gosh, job promotions on paper. I see it every week. Single digit percentage change is my other favorite nonsensical article. Like I just read one, there was a 0.4% change. Who cares? Stop. Take the day off. You don't need to report that. That's nonsense. Rich executive feel-good stories, at least, I mean, I understand, automotive is full of rich executives that like rich executive feel-good stories. I mean, you got to have something to talk about while you're golfing. And sponsorship obvious is the only one that I can grasp onto because, listen, sponsors are necessary for business concern, which is why I know there are companies that are like, how is he still doing a show? It's because the content's too good. Speaking of, I know that the NAAA convention is going to be in Kansas City coming up, and so in case they contact me to host, tonight's show is dedicated to that rehearsal. So let's do our news recap in case Jay and ATI host that convention. Now, we all know what this is. It's troubling. It is causing further division in America, which I think further division in America is what led to this. And now it's getting worse. And we see, this is why I think people blame the media, but you know what? That's why I'm in the media, to try and help fix the level of propaganda that we engage in. And what do you mean left turn? They're tacking on the pro-gay and the trans rights to this guy. Okay, so maybe he liked it. Hey, maybe Charlie wasn't always right either. Okay, I know you can't say that. Look at this. If you say anything, positive or negative, about Charlie, you could get fired. I mean, they're firing pilots, teachers, healthcare workers. People's jobs are on the line. You can't talk about this. Do not talk about this. And then they want to float banning guns for transgender. Wow. I got an idea. You can't get rid of all the guns. We have too many guns. Oh, yeah. Good job, guys. So, and I know that nobody wants to talk about this. What the heck is this? Apparently, this was a birthday note to Epstein from Trump. And I know nobody wants to talk about this. But isn't that that's a nice picture. That's a weird picture. Okay. So anyways, massive immigration raid at the Hyundai mega plant in Georgia leads to 475 arrests. Most are Korean. Wait a minute. What? Sorry about that. Yeah, we weren't targeting you guys. Yeah, we reached a deal. You can have... Yeah, no. Yeah. Go back to work. That wasn't... Sorry. So sorry, everybody. And it's Truck Driver Appreciation Week, which is great because... it's going to be really rough the next 18 months. So enjoy the week, guys. Not cool. Asbury, this dealership is among the world's most trustworthy companies. Oh, yeah. Where'd you get that? How do you... Cox report shows dealers feeling pressure to drop prices. Actual news. Actual news. Wow. That only took 10 minutes. Auto dealers reveal record level of gloom about Q4 EV markets. Yeah, I think everybody knows that. August jobs nightmare, hiring near zero. See, I've been saying this. This goes back to my list of crap that I don't talk about. It was just a few months ago, I talked about somebody's crappy article about how jobs are amazing. Bullshit. Long-term unemployment at post-pandemic highs, straining workers and economy. More Americans have been jobless for 6 months or more. You're on LinkedIn. You're seeing it. Dealers must confront quiet quitting to protect profits. Now, this is a very interesting. To me, this headline borders on agenda, and I didn't use the word propaganda. Quiet quitting. Okay, why did dealers have to confront quiet quitting to protect profits? So great. Okay, well, what's quiet quitting? That's when an employee performs only the duties explicitly required by their job description, setting boundaries to achieve a better work-life balance instead of resigning or going above and beyond for the company. Because the company wants too much. Why do you think people are quiet quitting? Man, dealers can do no wrong. Love the car before them. I don't know. Global car reckoning is here. Far too many auto companies don't have a plan. You think? Hey, good news. OpenAI just launched a jobs platform. You can use AI to search the... A growing number of car owners are underwater on their auto loans. I mean, it's not that we don't know this. It's just that we ignore it. The average negative equity was nearly 6,800. Oh my God, that's average negative equity? More than 1 in 4 car trade-ins are underwater, a 4-year high. Just slam it down. Come on, man. Get in the dealership. We've got hot dogs. Underwater car owners. Buyers rolling negative equity, get into payments over 900. Let them eat cake. This is why maybe Tricolor bankruptcy sparks fraud probes as banking partners. So, okay, here we go. So the BKs... Don't talk about that. Most tariff Trumps ruled illegal by appeals court. Freaking Joe Biden. Mexico to raise tariffs on cars from China to 50%. See, if you know what I mean? Like, oh, that was illegal? Oh, well then we'll just, call our friends. Allegedly. Hey, I know you hate the guy. And nobody wants to talk about Doge. Oh, God. But Elon could be the first trillionaire, so throw the guy a party, man. He's going to be a trillionaire. We love him again. He's rich. Tesla owners shift to legacy brands for gas vehicles, hybrids, EVs as brand loyalty drops. You know what? I got a news flash for you. As much as you don't want to like Tesla or whatever, man, Southern California, these Teslas are everywhere. Cybertrucks are everywhere. Sedans, SUV, the X and the E and the S and the Y. It's everywhere. Don't hate the player, hate the game. GM CEO Mary Barra, she sells 40% of her personal stock. It's time. Just sell. Let's go. ACERTUS names a new CEO. People are talking about this. Have you seen this? What do we got here? It is always great to see smiling Jay. Thanks, Rich. I don't know why I'm smiling. This news is terrible. I mean, this one's not so bad. CEOs change. That's okay. Here's a good one. Montway acquires turn time transport. Expanding their dealer and auction services. Ding. Which I expect to see more of this. I expect to see more of this, and I expect to see more of this. It's time. We don't need 5 billion brokers. We just don't. There's no. So I've been thinking about, I've been thinking about Carvana and their same-day delivery. And do you really think I'm a fan of overpromising? But you know what? Maybe you can do same-day delivery if your demand has dropped. Is that what's going on? Is that the truth behind these headlines? Because I keep seeing same-day delivery in all these major cities that have major traffic. Denver, Phoenix, Seattle, maybe Atlanta. How do you pull this off? Oh, less customers. That makes total sense. That's why the stock is going through the moon. Car shoppers can get their own AI agent to help negotiate the deal. Yeah. I mean, that's obvious, I guess. But here's Car Edge. I hadn't heard of Car Edge. And there's Car Edge, you know, talking like a guy, gal, person, they. 25 years after the e-sign act, state's DMV still wants the wet signature.
Yuck.
GM Tech can tell elderly motorists when to stop driving. Egads. Carvana to open Odessa Golden Gate as an integrated auction recon center. Okay, that's one inspections headline. Cox Automotive acquires full ownership of Alliance Inspection Management, AIM. That's two inspections headlines. And UVeye integrates inspections tech with dealer tire and latest partnership. That was three, Jay. Three that I inspection tech headlines. Something going on in inspections. And even I noticed again one of the major traditional media had dedicated a playlist to fixed ops. So, you know, make money where you can, because it isn't happening in F&I. Pencil that. ATI is where everyone learns more about how the automotive industry works. Allegedly. New, used, auction, dealer, logistics, remarketing, recon, compliance, and tech. I don't ship cars, I move information. And sometimes I have guests. You can get the podcast. And there's a website. Yeah, everybody's got one of those. All right, let's see if Chris is ready. Hopefully he is. Chris, are you out there? Okay, I think Chris is ready. That's cool. So let's do this. What was that? What are you doing there? Let's hit another button. Let's go to Superflow. And when we come back, we're going to be live with Chris. Stick around. Be right back.
Understanding web traffic at your site can be a funny thing. Who, when, why? Then you have things like bounce rates, visit times, return traffic. The point is, you have traffic, but are you capitalizing on all that traffic and why they came to your site to begin with? You may do moving, vehicle inspections, car auctions, custom car building, car clubbing. Quotify is the first online shipping utility feature that helps you to retain the relevant traffic and capture business which is typically just sent away. It instantly allows your visitors to see multiple shipping companies' rates and live reviews with an option to book the shipment now or email it for later.
I'm running an ad.
If you have car shipping relevant traffic, then why not swing the bat and make some money along with some other added benefits?
Awesome.
The best part of Quotify is that it's free.
The ads run. That's okay.
Yes, that's right. We actually pay you to offer your visitors something they most likely need anyways.
Just getting set up here.
So let's wrap this up. It's a totally free utility feature that will increase your site visit times.
Of course.
Lower your bounce rates.
I am. I'm in Orlando right now.
And we even
I was, of
pay
course,
you to
at
use
the
it.
Georgia Tech game.
Sounds
for
too
the
good to
kickoff,
be true.
Or the walk-off on the...
It's not.
Over, or the
Sign
kick.
up today. Or
Okay,
call
hold on,
now
here we
to
go.
speak with a commercial account specialist.
Don't lose any more sleep worrying about missing leads. Get Transport Auto Quoter to quote the right price the first time, every time. Run your business with TAQ. Visit transportautoquoter.com. All right, here we go. You ready? I'm hitting the drum roll button. I'm traveling, so I don't have my drum roll. I wish I had my drum roll. I miss my drum roll button and my applause button. Those are buttons I really like to use, but I don't have when I'm traveling.
Nah, no worries. I'm traveling as well, so we're all good.
All right, cool. So I think I can see you. I think I can hear you. Levels look good. Do me a favor, live chat. Just give a thumbs up if you're seeing and hearing us okay. I do appreciate it. Perfect. And all right, so Chris. Do you go by Chris or Christopher?
Chris.
Okay. All right, Chris, please say hello and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris Carter. I am a die-hard car enthusiast, technologist, and lover of an incredible, beautiful wife who's laying over there in the bed in the hotel in Orlando.
Okay, great. The show just took a turn. Okay, so all right, you are a car enthusiast. Yes, can see
Oh,
and hear you.
huge.
Thank you, Elijah. Okay, so now what does that? Let's start with that. What does that mean? You've owned. Do you
I,
own several cars? Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, yes, I've owned several cars, do own several cars. It started as a passion. My dad would frame off restoration Corvettes as a young kid. He painted flames on a pickup truck in the 1980s. That was beautiful to me. My first cars were a Nova, a two-door Nova. I used to have a neighbor that had a Plymouth Fury, and I helped him back that thing up onto a hill to put the extenders on the rear end and make that thing go down the road like we used to do when we were in the 80s with Krager SS's on it. Now I've got Barracudas, I've got Corvettes, I've got Willys wagons. I really love automobiles without computers in them that I can actually work on and do the work myself like my father did. But I've also got Corvettes now. I've got the latest and greatest Corvettes that I love tooling around in with my beautiful bride. And yeah, I am a huge fan. And I use transport systems all the time because I'm buying and selling some of my older cars all over the United States.
Hey, do you have like a guy that you use? Like a transport company or a person? Or I'm just curious.
Well, I'm going to be using you now, but I have been
Oh,
using folks in the past. So, yeah, I've got guys around the U.S. I've got literally a list of 4 different phone numbers. I call them up and say, okay, first one can't do it, or the second one, or the third one, and figure out who could when I needed it. I've sent cars to
okay.
Sweden before, so
Wow.
it's interesting to be able to have to do that.
Now, okay, so were you part of organizing the move to Sweden? How did that happen? Logistics. Tell me the logistics.
Yeah, I worked with a buyer in Sweden. He worked from the port over to Sweden, and I had to go from my facility over to the port in New York that I had to send to. I had a classic Mustang that needed to be sold. There was a gentleman in Sweden that wanted it, and this broker found it, and it was a all white exterior with the red interior. Beautiful long nose. It was just gorgeous. And after some negotiations, we worked together to make sure that that vehicle would get put into a vehicle. It wouldn't be in an open container, and it got sent over to New York. And then he took it from the New York port and into Sweden itself.
All right, perfect time to pause and let me ask you. So, through the process of you've shipped cars domestically, now you're shipping to Sweden, is there anything after that you'd say to a collector, "Hey man, here's what you need to know about shipping"?
Yeah, I really would. First of all, make sure you're finding somebody that you can trust. They're insured. You've talked to people. You've got their background verified, or who they are, what they're doing, why they're doing it. Just picking somebody willy nilly by driving past them on the interstate and going, "Oh, that guy looks like he moves vehicles." Make sure you talk to individuals. Make sure you talk to Jay first and foremost about those activities, and make sure that you feel comfortable. Don't ever put your vehicle on any transporter that you've got a gut feeling about, and be careful. Secondarily, I always like putting my vehicle on the inside of some type of a trailer system. You don't know what's going to happen. I've had cars delivered in the middle of blazing snowstorms in Wisconsin that it was May. Jay, I kid you not, it was May. They sent my Porsche, a Boxster, on an outside on an out an exposed transporter, and it was blazing snow. That car was covered head to foot, plus the whole front grille was getting smacked with ice and snow the whole time. And I was fully expecting it to be internal. So make sure you do those types of things and have trust. Trust is a big thing in our industry.
Well,
And
it's a big thing behind the scenes too, and this is actually an interesting moment because okay, so there's open and there's enclosed, and you ended up on open, and it sounds like you wanted an enclosed. And I know that sometimes, based on location to location, an enclosed turns into an open.
Yeah.
But there is also a problem where, so I'm going to say it, brokers.
Yes.
Brokers, it's fine. Brokers help coordinate and expedite and all those things. But sometimes brokers will tell customers whatever the customer wants to hear just so they can keep the deal. And when you talk about, you see a random guy driving and they'll hire him. Well, what we see a lot in like the dispatch behind the scenes is people have hired companies because they kept seeing the YouTube ad, or they saw an advertisement about best shipping companies, which I don't even know how you gauge that. And or just Googling, and it's the company that keeps showing up at the top because they've paid like $100,000 a month to get top listing everywhere. So you end up with this company that'll tell you whatever you want to hear. And how do what are you supposed to do? This is why you having a list of 4 guys, keep that. Don't hire me. I don't ship cars and move information. So but how, I mean, that's the question. How do you stop that from happening? What can you do? What do you think the techniques are? Yeah.
Well, it's so hard. If we're car guys and gals. We talk to each other. I go to events. I was just down in Atlanta. They had Octane and Caffeine and all these different events that go on out there. And, we all talk. We need to talk and have these conversations about people. Who do you use? Who do you trust? Why do you trust them? What are you transporting with them? Have they ever steered you wrong? And to be honest, there needs to be a little black book of those companies that are filled with scumbags. And that scumbag meter needs to be put out there on every single site. Do not trust this individual, or do not trust this broker because of X, Y, and Z. And, I keep a mindset of, I'm going to trust you. And then when you break that trust, I will never trust you again.
And see, I tell you, I think that there are plenty of brokers that they know that's in place. And how many times a year does a private individual ship a car? 1 to 2? There you go. So if I can break your trust once, and you're shipping a car once, who cares?
That's what they feel. Right. Yeah, it's really what they feel.
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, and that's got to be an actuarial table, or the breaking trust actuarial table. Things are good, 1 to 1, worked out. I know, like, in the live chat, and this is, I see it all the time, and 925's in the live chat. He asked, would you prefer to talk directly with a carrier or a broker? Now, this is an interesting question, because, I mean, I guess, what do you think? Do you have a response?
I want to talk to the carrier. The brokers are great, but they're going to sell you. The carrier is the person that's going to pick up that vehicle and give me the information, and they're going to document everything that I have specifically said and I need for those vehicles either coming to me or being taken from me. And I want that carrier. I love it when they come around with that piece of paper and they're documenting everything on the car, how it is, what it is, before they even put it into the trailer. I love that. And then I get that piece of paper. First thing I do is I take a copy of that thing with my phone and I send it to whoever purchased my vehicle. Now, mind you, I don't buy and sell a lot of vehicles per se. I like to keep my collection together. But when I do, I make sure I have that carrier. I take a copy of that sheet that we've both signed off on. That goes to the end customer, or I ask them that send that to me, and we go from there. That's personal preference.
All right. So what are some carrier red flags?
Oh, if
I know, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't like tardiness. I like to have a reasonable conversation with them. If it's somebody that just all of a sudden had a long day, night, and they're just bitching and moaning about anything and everything, the day, the weather, the people, who hired them, why they got it. I got cheaped out on the cost. Man, that broker just screwed me over on this. I got to do this. They show up with a pickup truck and a dolly. I had somebody do that one time on me. I'm like, what the frick is this?
What?
I couldn't get the damn broker to pick up my call to save my life. So I canceled everything. I said, here's $100. See you later, buddy. I don't know who you are, what you are, but I'm not giving you my vehicle on a dolly. If I
So
wanted to do
you,
that, I got a car dolly in my garage.
so you have had, okay, so you have had like experiences that didn't work out.
I have. I've had two experiences that I can think of right offside the head. Gentleman showed up with a beat up old pickup truck with a dolly. Now, mind you, he could have been the nicest human being on the planet, but that car, he pulled in with that and I'm, no, this is not what I asked for. He couldn't get a hold of the broker. I couldn't get a hold of the broker. I gave him $100 for gas and I said, I'm sorry. Find your next gig. I appreciate it, but I'm not sending my car on a dolly. And I literally, he walked into my warehouse. There's a dolly right there in on one of my lifts. And he was like, well, why aren't you doing this yourself? I said, exactly. So, and then one other time, unfortunately, the gentleman showed up with an open carrier instead of an enclosed carrier. And I said, that's not what I ordered. I'm going to have to decline. This is not what I've agreed to. This is too priceless of a car to be able to be sent in an open container.
Yeah,
He understands.
well, I was say okay. I was just say so. I was a dispatcher. That's
Yes.
my role. That and I would see like a Ghost, Rolls Royce Ghost, and all that stuff listed for open, and I'm like, why would you buy that kind of car? Do people not know?
I think some don't, especially when you're starting to look at individuals. I'll be honest. I've got some friends they've got money, and they have zero idea how they need to get their vehicle in. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to validate it. They don't know any of that shit. And you and I have seen this before. Some people just take advantage of them. They'll charge them an exorbitant rate. Hey, you're getting a Rolls, you're getting a Bentley. I'm looking for a Bentley Continental GTS right now, convertible, black on black, or the powder blue. There's no way in hell I would put that thing in an open. But yet, there are people that will send it and just like, just get it to me. No matter what, just get it to me. And you're like, what the hell are you doing?
I've seen it so many times too. And I mean, maybe you can't find an enclosed transporter for that on that route, whatever. Here's one for you. With an enclosed carrier, do you have a preference? Like, do you care if it's a double decker, carrying 6 or carrying 1, or it doesn't matter, right?
I want those guys to make money too. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as my car is insured, it's taken care of. No matter if I'm getting it or if I'm giving it to somebody, as long as they're there to take care of it, I don't care what that is. Make more money on your route. If you can pick up 6 cars on that trip through, all the more power to you. Make that money, baby. Make your money.
And on that note, so with carriers, their timing is tough.
Mm-hmm.
This is another thing as a dispatcher. I was always saying to people, they're like, all right, well, what day is he going to be here? All right, I'll tell you what, day I can do. What time is he going to be here? Time? No. I can't tell you the time.
No.
Stop. And that's why I would say, you know what, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm just a guy on a phone that you can yell at. But I'm going to tell you right now, don't think that way. Please, I'm begging you. Well, can't you give me a 2-hour time frame? I'm totally guessing. What 2-hour time frame do you want? Right.
The best thing for that though, Jay, is I've never asked for the time. I've always asked for the date. Ask the carrier to at least give me a 2-hour window if it's between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. So at least I can get home from the office. That's all I ask. Be that courteous and say, hey, I'm probably about 2 hours out. I'm either in Chicago or I'm in Indianapolis or I'm coming in from Minneapolis. I'm going to be there in roughly this time frame. Great. I can come home from the office and I can make sure that they're going to be at my warehouse, so on. But at the end of the day, just tell me, make sure the day that you're going to be there is right. Now, I know traffic in Chicago is crap. I know winters in Minneapolis. I know winters in Indianapolis. I live in the Midwest. I know those can cause havoc. Hell, we've had snowstorms. I, that Boxster that came in that open trailer, it was supposed to be there 2 days earlier, but because we had a snowstorm, and mind you, I didn't know it was not in an enclosed trailer. He was supposed to be there 2 days early. He at least had the common courtesy to say, look, I am stuck in Indianapolis. The roads are horrible. I said, I know the snowstorm. Be safe. Snuggle in for a couple of days. Just tell me the day that you're going to be here when you're on your way, when everything gets done. And at least have the common courtesies to do those types of things. Day, yes. Hour, that can change in an instant.
And so that's as a dispatcher, I'm on the phone telling the customer, you got to open up that window. But I would say to carriers a lot, listen, you got to call. Don't wait till you're 30 minutes down the road. And I would hear that all the time. That was my biggest problem with the carriers I was working with, is they were all saying, I'll wait until I get closer. And I'm like, man, if you do that, they are going to be pissed.
Yeah. And I like to give tips. I like to tip my drivers for good service. The guys and gals that would call me 2 hours in advance, here's $100 for you, man. Go to the Quick Trip, get a shower, go get a hot meal, go get something to drink, snuggle in for the night before you have to go to your next stop, and enjoy yourself on me. But the guys and gals that would sit there and all of a sudden, hey, I'm sitting in front of your warehouse. Where are you? Well, dude, it says in the record, 2-hour notice. Let me know. I'm now on the opposite side of Milwaukee. Oh, by the way, it's rush hour and you expect me to be there for you? Come on. It's common sense and common courtesies. Those are the two things I live my life by. I just wish they would do the same.
Yeah, no, tips is a really good one because we are now in this digital tipping world. Like if I turn around and I pour iced tea, there's a tip. I'm asking you for a tip.
Yes.
But if I haul your car across the country,
yeah.
There may be nothing.
I still do that. No matter what. I'm not a big tipper when it comes to me making my own order and taking my own order and those tips. But if you're going to do a service and you're going to do the things correctly, it's like in a restaurant. If you do the things correctly and I have a good meal and I have a good experience with you, I'm going to give you that 20%. I'm going to go from the 18 to the 20. And if you do good work and you bring me my cars or my motorcycles in the manner that I've asked you to, and you follow the common courtesies of giving me the 2-hour notice, making sure of the activities, making sure I get the sheet with all anything that's possible damage on before they go, so I can get that in advance. You deserve a tip, man. You busted your butt for me. Go get yourself some food and some snack and shower up. Hey, I'm here because I'm getting my dream vehicle or one of my vehicles that I've always wanted. You've helped me with that. I'm going to give you a tip for that. And to be honest, the more you take care of me, the more I'll take care of you.
I'm going to go back to, ratings and Yelp and see folks that work on the tech side in auto logistics. And I'm talking about load boards and tech broker. They'll say, oh, there's plenty of rating systems. But it's hard to understand what the truth is. And so, how would you fix the rating system?
Well, never trust Yelp. Yelp is a scam. And I'll say that right now. And if Yelp wants to sue me, I'll give you my phone number and my address. You know how to find me. I literally had a couple months ago. God. Literally anybody can go on there. Hell, you can get 20 members of your family to go on there and give you 5 stars, and you're screwed. Hell,
that's how auto transport works. Yeah.
Yes. Literally, they will have any. Hell, I know a company that is offering, is buying stars and activities from India-based companies and Vietnamese. And
exactly. What do you need? You need followers and likes and Yelps. Yeah, we do it all.
I'm like, forget it. I don't trust. That's why I trust my guts, and I talk to lots of people in the car ecosystem who I know and I trust.
Do you go to collector auctions like Mecum and Barrett Jackson? You go to those?
Yes, I love cars. So I love going and seeing what people have done with their cars. I love having conversations with some of us old guys. I'm 56 now, so I like the older guys, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, who have worked on cars all their lives and will do different things with their cars. And then I love these young kids who are starting to play and tune, and then they're putting in new parts. So I love to see what everybody's doing and what they're doing. Everybody's got a different idea of how cars should be for them. I'm different than my brother who loves cars and my father who builds cars and works on cars. I I just love seeing cars, so it's great. So yes, I try to go to those auctions when I can.
I'm sure then you are familiar with reliable carriers.
Yes.
Have you ever
Yep.
used them?
I've used them twice. I've had one good experience and went, eh. The guy just didn't call. All of a sudden, he showed up at my warehouse. Said, "Where are you?" And then he said, "Well, I'm dropping your car off." I said, "No, you're not. You are not dropping that car off unless I'm there. You knew what I asked for." Because I learned after the first car got delivered. A good friend of mine said, "Look, you always got to ask them. Make sure that they give you a 2 hour notice. Make sure you get the documentation. Make sure you get these things." And it was my first time using them, and he literally just said, I'm at this address. Where are you?" And he actually was across the street at the wrong address when I got there. And I'm like, "Where are you?" He goes, "Well, blah, blah." Anyways, it's a long story. And I said, "You knew what was offered." And it was literally on his sheet. He literally handed me a sheet that he was supposed to have scanned or at least photoed, and it had literally had a 2 hour call. And I'm like, "Why didn't you call me?" "Well, I figured you'd be here, but..." I'm like, "Dude, it's a warehouse. It's a warehouse. I don't live in my warehouse." And so we got into kind of a little argument. No tip, just he dropped that thing off. He did as much as he could and got the hell out of there. I was like, good riddance.
See, this goes on every day.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
No matter if it's reliable or somebody else.
that's
Everybody.
and that's right. And part of the problem is, so there's many great drivers out there that are frustrated with other drivers that are bad, or brokers that lowball, or customers that expect the moon. I don't know what it is with auto transport. That's why I have this channel. It's such a mess.
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately,
don't
so.
understand.
And it rides a curve, it seems like. I can get one good day. That's why I've tried to keep the same for if I can. And every once in a while, if I have to go offside the grid, I'm asking people. It's gotten a lot better for me over the last probably 4 or 5 years since my vehicles, but I'm also not doing it as much and I'm not asking for as much. It's very short distances nowadays, but it is. I hear horror stories still to this day, and well, I know somebody who literally had a vehicle transported over, and somehow a wheel flew off of either a camper or a trailer down the road and went through, and it hit the side of the open trailer, and it literally skimmed like 2 or 3 of the vehicles on the trailer, completely damaging the cars that were on that. I think it was a 6 trailer or 5 trailer, and he's getting his vehicle, and all these cars are damaged. He goes, the driver just said, "Yeah, somebody lost a wheel on the road and hit my trailer." And he's like, "Have you reported it? Did you file a police report? Did you do anything in regards to it?" "No, that's on them. It's their insurance." Like, dude, what the hell? What the hell? I'd never heard that. That was a new one on me.
I'm listening. I'm thinking. I'm reading here. We got a live chat. The LinkedIn user says, "Did you send a note to Reliable about the experience? Do any of these companies make it easy to comment, or send a follow up to ask about your satisfaction?"
Oh, they send satisfaction. They'll send emails in regards to satisfaction. Reliable sends after every transport. They send an email asking how you're satisfied, the star rating, and this, that, and the other. And I did make reference to all that information. They've updated their feedback report a number of times from what people have told me, but I let them know, and I gave them, I think, a 2 star. I said, you got it there. unfortunately, your driver didn't follow these regulations. Your dispatcher didn't follow this, what I requested. And unfortunately, he left in a huff before we could have additional conversations. And I tried to do that, but because I have 4 independents now, I don't have to worry about that as much. But feedback, anytime you get you're not happy with it, make sure you fill out that feedback report, no matter who you're using.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I think that really, I think the hardest job in this mix is being the car carrier company. To be the broker to do the phones, hey, if you hate what's happening, don't answer the phone. But if you're the car hauler company, maybe the driver's letting you down, maybe a tire hit your trailer. I mean, what are you supposed to do? The road is a really tough place.
Yes.
And maintaining this equipment is freaking brutal.
I feel so bad for some of them, for all of them, yes.
Oh,
well, look
my gosh.
Illinois. Oh, my God. The roads in Illinois, just driving my own personal cars, it's horrible, especially if you're down in that O'Hare going to Indiana area where they're constantly working and the potholes are horrible. I have to go slower just in my Corvette just to make sure I don't damage its rim. Think of what these trucks have to go through. It's horrible on them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then if you want to add things like DOT and stuff, no, it's crazy. And I think the reason why auto transport is so crazy is that we, in the desire to pay less for a service, product, or whatever, services like auto transport have suffered. It's gone so low that there's many companies that really can't recover.
No.
And in fact, that's why when we see some businesses that just go out of bed, they go bankrupt. They have to.
I don't want the lowest cost. I want the best quality cost. I'm willing to pay that $100, $200, $1,000, especially if I'm getting, like I got the brand new Corvette. I want that car delivered in pristine condition. Sure, not all of us can pay an extra $100 or want to pay. But at the end of the day, do you want the quality or do you want the cheapest? It's that old adage, do you want it fast or do you want it now? Do you want it cheap or do you want it right? Pick 2 of the 3. Well, I'm willing to pay the little bit extra to make sure that everything is taken care of. That's why I keep the 4. I know their rates, their quality rates, their higher rates, but I know at the end of the day, I'm going to get the product I've asked for every time. And if there's an issue, they're going to contact me. They know how to pick up a phone. They'll literally call, Chris, hey, I'm stuck here. Hey, Chris, I'm got this. Hey, Chris, I'm 2 hours out. Chris, I know where the key is for the warehouse. You want me to just drop it off for you? Great. They're actually people I can trust to just drop off into the warehouse, but they also know that there's like 20 cameras there. So as soon as they come driving in, I'll be like, oh, there's my baby. Oh, look at it. It's so pretty.
It's hilarious. I was going to say that one of the things that I try to do in this, everything has a dollar attached to it. And as a dispatcher, when I'd be on the phone with a broker and we're haggling over the rate of the car haul, and we're now arguing over $25. Okay,
it's nuts.
It is nuts. And like $25, okay, that's 2 people at McDonald's, maybe. Right? And people spend hundreds of dollars on hotels or night out. What? 4 people go eat sushi and it's $150. And that's without drinks. So my point is that you're shipping your car. How does that just you're not there? You don't see what's happened.
$25 at McDonald's. I'm 6'3", 290 pounds. That's just one meal for me. 2, if I'm buying a car and every single one of my cars, give me the extra $25. That's fine. The extra $250 so it's enclosed properly. I'm taking it from Michigan, or I'm getting it, if I'm going from the West Coast or the East Coast with them, I know it's going to cost more. because of the mountains and because of the transportation, because the number of days that they're going to have to, they got to follow the DOT regulations for the sleep and the amount of time on the road. People, normal one-on-ones don't understand those activities where it's car guys and brokers, and we understand that they have to, it's mandatory that you are only on the road this much time. You got to do this, you got to do that. So I've got that ingrained in my head, where these onesie twosies who go to the Mecum and they're like, oh, I'm going to spend $100,000 on this car, and now I'm going to get it sent back to me for $100. There was a woman and a man at
Yes.
Mecum that they're like, oh, it's only going to cost. Like, do you know where you're taking this from Las Vegas to where? No. Try you're going to want to pay like $2,500 for that, because you want that thing enclosed, you want it insured, and you want to make sure it's quality. Well, what? I got to pay that much more? Well, you got to pay the broker fee also at the Mecum. You didn't just pay $100 and some $1,000 for that car for that. You now have to pay this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Pay the extra $2,500 and you are going to be happy. You're not flipping this car. It's not a flip car. It's for you and your beautiful wife to drive around on Saturdays and Sundays and have fun. Take care of the little things, and spending a little extra on that delivery, it's going to put your mind at ease and you're going to be so much happier. And, you know, it's, yeah. I wish that they would have some type of a, I don't know, you can't do something at Mecum or any of these where you're doing those types of events, but they just don't understand. They're just there because they think it's a big party and everything else is going to come along with that $100,000, $70,000 price tag or $1 million price tag. And they just don't understand the value that they get from a reliable transportation organization and reliable conversations with people who know what they're doing to take care of your new baby.
It's almost as if, like, yeah, like what needs to happen is everybody, there's a PSA. If you ship a car, add hundreds of dollars to the budget. Now that's not going to happen. But many in logistics are also concerned that we've got Amazon free shipping, and it's caused this perception to just snowball. And in fact, I've seen offers, hey, if you buy a car or do this or that, you get free car shipping. What?
Really?
Free car ship? Yes. There
Wow.
are businesses that will try to package car shipping into a sale. Now, I understand if you're padding it, but you're still destroying the perception of the value of shipping.
Correct.
And that's already happened, I think.
You are 100% correct, Jay, because the value of a quality shipper is it. You know, I used to have hair. I used to have golden hair like yourself. Now I'm bald from pulling it out back in the day of those activities. Oh, I'm sure. I had genetics as well.
Right.
Unfortunately, nothing is free in this world. And the quality of free, what is the quality of free these days? So, yeah, I feel you.
Wow, what is the quality of that's good. All right, so in the live chat, 925, we'll try to end on this. 925 is asking, can you share from your point of view, what are the 3 most important things you expect from the carrier?
A conversation. I expect a human conversation. I want phone calls, text messages, communicate with me. Make sure that, you know, if I've requested that you call me 2 hours in advance and that I've sent the photos of the shipping statement that you got on your end to me. So when I get there, I have a copy so I know what I'm looking for before you bring that to me. Communication is key. 2, when I'm having a conversation, he said just carriers, correct? With the carrier? Was it?
Yeah, 3 things with the carrier. Yeah, with the carrier.
And then with the carrier, so the carriers that I use, I know that they're upkeeping their vehicles, they're upkeeping their trailers. I know that they've taken out and they care about the tools that they use to provide the service. So that's 2. They know quality. 3, and I want a human being that is going to. I talked about the communication part. but that individual also cares. They care about the job that they're doing. They care about their customers on both ends. Because remember, this is a two-way customer relationship. You've got the person that's selling the vehicle and the person that's buying the vehicle, and you're that go-between. They care about that person saying goodbye to the vehicle, because I do get emotional when I get rid of one of my vehicles, especially one that I've done a frame-off restoration or I've done activities with and I've worked on with my father or my daughter. I care about that vehicle. And I love having the conversations with my carriers about what we did with it, how we did this, why we did this. And if they're car people, that's even better because they care as well. And then when I get the vehicle in, they'll talk to me in regards to, hey, I was talking with the original owner and they did this and they did this. And did you talk to him about how he did this? And I like that. Have some care. So it's communicate with me. Make sure you have quality equipment and you care about the tools. If somebody shows up and they're in the beat up pickup truck with a dolly on the back, okay. But if it's a quality truck, it's upkept and he's a caring person, and then have caring about the end user and the back and forth, those three things. If you can get those three things out of anybody, that's a great relationship. That right there is the beginning of a beautiful relationship. And that's why I've got 4 of those beautiful relationships. And then throw in a fourth one, trust.
Yeah.
I can trust all 4 of those guys. Well, they are guys right now, but one's got a young lady that works with them. I can trust them with the keys to my facility. I can trust them with the keys to my cars and trucks, my motorcycles, anything. And I can trust them. So I would give you 4 right there, 925.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's right in line with really, what I've experienced and thought over the years. I'm going to repeat it again, is communication. And people say communication is key. That really is number one. And that includes really call me 2 hours ahead. Yes. Don't wait. Don't wait till you get there. Please don't wait. And then the equipment.
Phone calls are free. I got all 4 of my guys. They literally say, hey, Chris, I got your vehicle. I'm hitting the road. It's going to take me 2 days. It's going to take me this. A phone call is free, and it takes 10 seconds.
And I understand. Here's the thing is, I do understand why there's a phone avoidance. And it's because you got brokers calling every 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh, my God. I talked to a carrier. He had a broker called him 10 times on his way to deliver.
Oh, my word.
That's crazy. Yeah, that means you guys are making way too much money on this deal to be calling 10 times. That's unfortunate.
They're so worried about their commission. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but communication is obviously number one. That's key. I think the equipment is a really good point, because if the equipment is shoddy, that is the hard part, and equipment gets shoddy because you get lowball on these rates. And if your equipment is shoddy and your communication's not good, why would you care?
Correct.
What's to care about?
Nope, it's just a transaction to them. Then it's just a transaction.
Yes. And so, and I do agree with you. And I tell you here's what you made me think is, I could be ordering food wherever I am, whatever the service is, whatever product I'm getting. I do want whoever I'm talking to kind of care. And I mean, I like it. I like it when they care at all.
Agree.
Right? It means something.
Care about making me a coffee. Will care about delivering my vehicle. Care about, cutting my hair. Oh, sorry, I guess not. But here.
Right.
Just here.
You said, actually, when I get a cup of coffee, if I'm going to shell out $4 or $5 for a cup of coffee, which I must be old if I'm mad about that, because everyone else is like, hey, yeah, that's a small. But if I pay $5 for a cup of coffee, yeah, can you be nice when you give me the coffee?
Smile.
That'd be all right.
Coffee, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I go crazy.
Quick Trip in Wisconsin. I can pour my own coffee. They just ask me I want to put in my quick rewards numbers, and I'm done with them. And
even if I'm at Quick Trip, and you don't have to call me sir and all that, red carpet stuff. Just, would that be all? Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Mostly carriers. Here's what's happening. Carriers are the ones that tune in for the show and say something. Thanks, guys, for doing that. Brokers never say anything, but I know that brokers watch this show because this is the only place with actual, honest feedback. The other shows that talk about brokerages, it's all kiss-ass marketing bullshit. It's not real information. But here there's actual information, and you're a real person. You're not AI, right?
Nothing.
Whoa.
Yep, I'm still human.
So you're an actual human being who's actually shipped cars, and you're actually saying what you think.
Oh,
And that's
you'll get
why
over
I
the
made
thing.
this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's what's in. Chris, we'll share a secret. When did we talk? A month ago? Month and a half?
Oh, yeah, about a month and a half ago, something like that. Yeah.
And I try to stay about 2 months out on my scheduling, booking, and doing the show. And you reached out to me.
Yes.
Because you've been doing other podcasts and you've got other stuff that you. Let's talk about some stuff for a second.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I did reach out because I've listened to the podcast before, and I was like, oh, a dude that's likes cars. Where I'm a car guy. Oh, he does technology because he's part of the ecosystem, and it's part of technology. And I'm a technologist. This could be a fun conversation. And then so we talked, and we started talking about my technology, your technology. Started talking about some of my cars, my classics, my today cars. We started talking through the process, and I was like, oh, I love this because I do SAP software, I do artificial intelligence, and talking through those activities. And the reason I say that I love my cars without technology in them and no computers, I love my cars from the 60s and 70s so I can still work on them. I cannot even change the oil on my Corvette because it's got a 6 different bolt pattern underneath the flat. I can't get to anything to change my own oil anymore. I couldn't imagine that would be that way when I started working on Corvettes with my father back in the 1980s when I was in high school. And to be able to then start transporting vehicles around the country and overseas from those days, it's pretty cool. So the transportation and logistics, because I work with companies like Ford and Daimler and Mercedes-Benz and those guys from an SAP and their technology perspective. And so as a car guy who's done these different things, I watch their transportation as they're sending their cars out. And I've watched the evolution of their transportation, of how they literally cocoon these cars now and how they're protecting them. Because every one of them's got an open transporter. And you see all that nice white stick to and everything that's going on there. And I'm like, so when I'm in South Carolina or when I'm somewhere and I'm talking to them and I'm looking at, or when I'm at my local dealer who's a Chevrolet dealer and he's getting all these new cars in and I'm seeing everything on it, I'm like, I remember when you used to send this shit and you used to have to fix it on site when they first came in. I'm smiling, Jay.
Okay, I'm taking a photo here, so yeah, okay. I like to do that sometimes. I take behind-the-scenes photos. All right, so what's an SAP? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so SAP is an application that companies use, like Chrysler, like Mercedes-Benz. It literally manages their entire company. So it takes care of finance, it takes care of HR, it takes care of warehousing, transportation and logistics run through their SAP systems. Warehousing of parts and making sure that parts are there so they can build cars, sell cars, send cars. It's one application that these companies use to take care of everything. And so we'll manage, run, and support that application. We'll even upgrade it. We'll take care of licensing. We do all that for different companies around the globe. Been very fortunate. I've worked with D-Max, which is part of General Motors. I've worked with Mercedes-Benz in the Carolinas and others. So it's, to me, it's when I get to talk with those guys and I get to work with the tier 2 and tier 3 subs who are running SAP all around the United States, who are sending parts to and from these different manufacturers. As a car guy and who does this, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew what parts are going where and what and how you're doing it. And so to me, it's exciting and fun, and that's what SAP does. SAP runs everything for these companies. And I'm just blessed enough to be able to play with that application. And that's why I stay away from the computers in the cars as much as I can.
So yeah, because all right? Did you say you went to Georgia Tech?
Yes, sir. Yeah, great game this weekend, wasn't it?
I didn't see it. I know.
I
Sorry.
got to watch the field this weekend.
Wow, you did. I've
They
done that
they
at
did
Virginia
the
Tech. Me.
well, we actually we play you guys later this year, and we're gonna stomp you, but that's okay, Jay. You know, you guys are.
Oh, come on. Yeah, Tech's not any good anymore. Michael Vick, he was the man.
Those were the days when you had Michael Vick. Yeah, unfortunately, he had to deal with his brother too, but Marcus. But that's okay. Yeah, it'll be.
Okay. Tell me about Charging Bunny. What's Charging Bunny?
Oh, Charging Buddy is my EV-based charging entity that I've started. I believe that I love gas-powered and diesel-powered vehicles, but I also feel that there is a need for electric vehicles. I've got a Tesla. I'm working on some ideas. I love electric scooters. And so I started building this company to use nothing but solar power, and we never, ever take from the grid. We only put the power back to the grid when it's not used at any of the stations throughout as we start deploying them. Never want to take, always want to give back, because we feel we need to give back to the grid because the grid is pretty the way it is. So we built these in order to do it that way. We've got battery powers, we've got backups, we've got different computer components that I've used with other entities to be able to do that with vehicles. Because I still think that we're going to have more EV traffic, no matter if it's some of the motorcycles that are trying to be built from Harley and others, to cars, to other things in our lives. Will it take over? No, it'll never take over the way people think it was. Especially when, as much as I think that the Cybertruck is cool, let's get a little bit more Rivian style and activities in there. But I think it's going to have a place in our society. And I wanted to be able to build an entity to be able to help us sustain our grids and give back to our grids as we can.
And if I give back to the grid, do I get anything?
We do. So when we take the solar power, so if you deploy one of our Charging Bunny stations and you fill that puppy up, and let's say nobody comes and uses now if you've got a full battery, that literally will go back to the grid, and you get the cost, or you get a revenue generator from the
Like
grid,
a
because
credit or
the municipality will give you a credit back based
I
upon
like
that.
that.
It never reverses back and takes
See,
it
to
from.
me, this is like that's an innovative concept because we don't have that. You can't give gas
Give
back to the
one.
gas station, and
Correct.
really, why would you?
Ugh.
But
We're
EV's more of a commodity back and forth, right?
Correct. We are the only entity that does not take anything from the grid, but only provides it back to the grid. So that's why we get that. That's one of our revenue streams, is we give back to each municipality. But what's interesting is each municipality, no matter if it's local, county, state, or federal, there are different charges that we will get back as a revenue stream. And it varies by city, even locale. So you have to negotiate with all of them, and it's kind of a problem right there. But we're working to try and figure that out and how we can associate that from a federal level.
Well, it's weird that that solar power isn't more of a part of our conversation or thought. I mean, obviously there's a jillion things, but when you go on a walk, you see houses. There's quite a few houses now with solar panels, but that's all you see, and you never really hear much. And then you hear, "Hey, do you want to get solar panels on your house?" That's about it. But the sun is there over half the time.
Well, it's interesting that we're having this conversation because Elon Musk did a speech literally, I think, less than 12 hours ago, 24 hours ago, where we were talking about AI, and he's got the megawatt centers, Stargate, down in Austin, Texas. Every single one of those uses solar power, even though they've got to build more. And he is talking about how utilizing solar for the AI grid is going to be the most optimal way to perform these data centers. And they're building hundreds of data centers. You're going to have nuclear, and solar activity. Now, you do need a lot of solar panel, you need activities. And unfortunately, the only people really making solar panels are the Chinese. So we've got to start coming back to our own United States. We got to come back to our solar. We got to, I'm not a fan of wind. Wind, you spend more money on those machines and everything. If you want to see the great speech, listen to the speech about Man. When he does that speech, that is 100% on the market. Get rid of wind, but keep the solar.
So wind is not great. I'm laughing because the wind controversy I've thought is funny, like because there's a guy in the White House, he freaking hates windmills, and it's weird to me. Like, I don't know what the problem is, but you're saying windmills no?
So I said it.
Or you know what I mean, wind power, whatever.
Through wind power. But if you look at what it costs to build those entities, set them up in the middle of nowhere, and to maintain those entities, you literally come away with a negative, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay, so you're talking balance sheet wise. It's not that you don't hate wind and you don't hate blades in the sky.
It just doesn't have a profitability.
It just doesn't make sense. Okay.
Now you can put some of those in oceans, and you can try to do some things with them, and you can balance some certain things. But unless you're going to use that as your only source, it's kind of a problem. Well, it is a problem. It's not kind of. It is a problem.
All right. Then you're right. You're thinking from a business and engineering standpoint. It's just not. It's not making sense. Look at the
cost of what it takes to build one of those things, to recoup the cost.
Well, they're freaking enormous too.
Supporting it, and then then you get the Sierra Club and all these people.
There's hundreds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's in the state of California alone, there's probably several hundred. Right.
State of Wisconsin has the same thing. It's got hundreds of them. We Energies does it, but you know what it is? It's a marketing ploy. Oh, we're using wind. Oh, we're so green. Bullshit. What you are is you're wasting taxpayer money.
That sucks.
Solar. But
wow.
Solar, every freaking house, every freaking office complex. Hell, you can even put solar panels on the sides of office towers and buildings that are these 60s floor monstrosities. You put solar on there all the way around in whatever format you want. Instead of you don't cover windows, but you go around, you would recoup the cost for the energy of those activities. And then you start doing smart things with it, start using smart technology along with it that we've developed. That will help you as well. Look at what they're doing with vehicles now with being able to put the solar wrap on the top. Hell, Sweden has roads built with electrical current on it, so their electrical cars can be charged while they're driving on the road that's covered with blacktop. It's crazy.
I'm glad you said that. What about the roads where they want to put like wires along the road, or I don't know?
They're doing that in Europe now, because what it does is
it works.
It electrifies the vehicles as it's going through.
Yeah, but okay? I'm glad we're talking about this because I've wondered this.
Fun stuff.
In America, we have really long interstates.
We do.
Are you going to wire the whole interstate?
Do you need to?
That sounds like a windmill, right? Like.
But what's going to be you're constantly fixing
solar
up on it anyways.
Wouldn't solar cells attached to the vehicle make more sense?
A solar cell roof. You don't need to have the entire roof line as a window. Okay. I know my wife loves that. I'm sure she's over there. Good thing she's sleeping now. Her Traverse has got that big window over the top. Teslas have got that big one. Okay. Why? Half of it can be a solar cell. Have the window, the front and into the back seat, and then have the solar cell going down through the back side of it.
You just the trunk develop. You just need to develop a transparent solar cell, and that way you get both, right?
Yes.
They could do that. Call Elon. He could do it. He's a trillionaire. Did you see? So he's a trillionaire?
He's number 2 right now behind
Larry Ellison?
Oracle, yes.
It is. So Larry Ellison's really number 1 right now?
Yeah, they're falling 1 and 2 depending upon the Oracle stock. Back and forth. The stock went up $69 today.
Is that why Larry's number one?
Yeah, his stock went poof. It went through the roof this past week. They had a great quarter. They literally sold. They bought $10 billion worth of chips from NVIDIA. They're putting them into their data center, and then they're leasing the data center space back to NVIDIA in order to do a lease back. And they're literally going to recoup 200 times the payment of those NVIDIA chips. It's a great.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Holy
AI,
crap.
the technologies that's used.
I mean,
So
Larry
solar,
doesn't have to do anything. Does he just party on boats now?
I think he's giving all of his money to his kids.
He's gonna tune in and be like, dude, don't do that.
Well, it's funny. He gave his son.
He's earned his money though, right? I mean,
The guy is
oh,
a
yeah.
genius. I've been fortunate enough to sit in a room with him because SAP uses.
Get out of here. Have you met him?
I got to shake his hand one time.
Wow.
He walked into a boardroom and we were all sitting in there and we were discussing SAP with Oracle and activities. And this was in Newtown Square. And he and Dr. Plattner, who was the founder of SAP, Larry Ellerson, the founder of Oracle, and they were all chit-chatting and we're all just amazed. I had no idea they were both going to be there. It was, I haven't washed this hand since.
Yeah. I love that one. That was such a great one. I was trying to envision. Wow. Let's see here. Okay, what else do we have? We didn't talk about EV upfitting. You want to talk about that?
EV upfitting?
Yeah, so converting gas cars.
Oh, you mean
run-
like Schwarzenegger EVing his G-Wagon into an EV? That's right. We were chit-chatting. Oh my God. Arnold took a G-Wagon, sent it to a company that is in, I think it's in California yet. And literally they just took out that gas-powered Mercedes-Benz engine, threw in an EV, and he's got the only EV G-Wagon on the planet. It is great. Go out and Google it or go out on YouTube and look at it. It is phenomenal. The EV pack is maybe about this wide, and it's maybe about, I would say, 2 feet deep, and it fits in there. They built a conversion kit for the transmission. They got everything. It is cool and as slick as hell. It is one of those cool things. And then there's a company out of the UK that is doing the same thing, but they're doing it with classic cars. They're taking old school Porsches, old school Ferraris, old school Lamborghinis, these old school Range Rovers, because you take that engine out and then there's this small little EV pack, and they're doing great things. They're actually bringing their cars over to the US now. So now they've got an international, well, to us it's international. So from the UK over to the United States, and those cars, they go out and they make sure that pristine 1960s Porsche, 1970s Porsche, that 1960s or 70s Range Rover, Land Rover is pristine. And then they drop that EV pack inside there, and now it's the best of both worlds. And they are gorgeous. Jay, they are some of the most incredibly rebuilt cars on the planet. They do such a great job on that.
I saw a video on social media, and I want to say it was a company maybe out of Texas, but they were walking around the showroom showing all the cars they were already working on, and like Ford Fairlanes and Thunderbirds, and I mean, they might have had an Edsel. I mean, they were doing really old classic cars without touching cosmetically the outside. So you wouldn't even know until they show under the hood, and then you're like, wow. And it was really clean and nice the way they did it. Oh, man, it was impressive.
The nice thing with that is you don't have to change the electrical packs on that. You do have to make some modifications because those cars are so old. That electrical system, you just modify the electrical system based upon the EV, and you're running it off of the battery pack, just like we used to do back in the day. And it's not that hard on the older cars to be able to make those types of changes and adjustments, at least according to what they're telling us on YouTube and some of the information on their websites. But you get those classic beauties in there. Oh, when you get a James Dean Porsche in there, that's
And they're even, down to the gas tank, wherever the gas tank was, it's still where you plug in.
Yep,
So it's
that's the
like
plug-in. That's the outlet.
seamless. It's just beautiful. Um, Last thing is music industry.
Oh, I love my music. Very fortunate. Uh, he's become a friend now. TJ Courtney. He is he was the lead singer and the founder of a band called Radio Black. As a matter of fact, he's starting to write new music again. COVID kind of knocked them out. Of course, it happened with a lot of musicians on ours. Well, he went to Nashville. He is now an executive producer at Big Machine, great company that helped bring the IndyCar to Nashville. They've got music, they've got an alcohol line, great people. He went there and he's a writer, he's an executive producer. He's actually helping Tom Hanks's son right now as their executive producer and writing songs. And he's helped out as they're touring. They needed a drummer, and so he said he was going back out on the road for a little bit, and it got the bug in him again. Well, I met TJ several years before COVID. Really liked what they were doing. My daughter actually found them, and they were looking for some help. So I became an executive producer for their album, which got spawned a top 15 hit. And we're noted on their album as executive producers, my daughter and I. And we've kept in touch all these years. And I funnel ideas to him. He tells me different things that he's working on. And as a matter of fact, I found two songs that much older songs that I thought these would be good songs to redo. And I also introduced him to two young ladies where I thought two duets would be really good. And so he's looking at those. We're having conversations. One is a former Idol participant out of Nashville, and he's been able to do a couple of singing gigs with her around Nashville. And he's getting his pipes back, and he's getting his chops back, and just a great human being, nice person, nice musician, can play literally any instrument. And it's good to be able to help people like that. I love being able to get out there and do stuff, and I come up with some ideas, and I've got a brain full of ideas that I like to do. And TJ is one of those guys with the band Radio Black, and we're looking forward to getting him and the band back together and back out on the road again in the next year.
When I think of the music, because I don't have any experience in the music industry, and so when I think of the music industry, I think of film and video that I've watched that let me into the music industry. And Netflix, I'm sure that this is a universal feeling. Netflix continues to provide us all with more and more perspective of things we would not have otherwise access to. I'm actually watching right now Genius, which is the Kanye West 3-part Netflix story. And I tell you, when I started, I'm like, okay. I mean, Kanye drives me crazy, but why not? I'll try this. And I watch all kinds of stuff. It's unbelievable. And what it makes me think about, because like Jay-Z's in it and Pharrell, and you see all these different music producers that on his way up that he runs into and collaborates with, and Jamie Foxx, and you realize, wow, the music industry is such an interesting industry because you really are trying to put magic in a bottle.
Yes.
Because if you can record that killer track, it will be known forever.
It will be known forever, and it will take you up. And until you become a jag-off that nobody wants to deal with, you can keep going and you can keep working with a multitude of people. It's interesting because the conversations TJ and I have had just sitting around having a cocktail or whatever, you get people that come in who've got phenomenal voices, but they're just jag-offs, and they're not going to get anywhere. Or you get these individuals that all of a sudden hit the highest heights. That's why I say, don't pick a genre and say, that's my genre. I'm only into country music. I'm only into rock and roll. I'm only into goth. Listen to everything. You get so much more information on it. Radio Black started, he won a contest while he was in Boston to go record at the 6666 studios, the Foo Fighters studio. The former drummer, God bless his soul and God bless him, who passed away, he was there drumming on his demos. And then you had the bass player and the lead singer from the Chevy group that they were all in. And all these guys, and they all talk, and everybody gets together. And, some people have attitudes. And you get that in every business and every genre and every activity. You get people with an attitude. But it's the ones who get together and be like, man, I don't care Taylor Swift is. I love what Taylor Swift is doing. I love what's her music. My daughters love them. Do I listen to it every day? No. But you know what? I listen to Filter. I listen to Taylor Swift. I listen to Kanye. I listen to I love Ice-T. That was one of my first albums when I was a kid.
Oh my God, Ice-T. Cop Killer? That
Yes, I
freaking
remember
dude,
the
that
album.
band? Oh God, those songs.
When he
Whoa.
went off, I remember having an NWA album. I'm a pasty white kid from Wisconsin.
Oh my
And
God, Eazy-E, dude.
E,
Eazy-E.
I
Oh,
had
he
that
was so
album
awesome.
in Wisconsin because it was still an album and cassettes when I was a kid. Well, now cassettes are coming back here too. So, I love,
I love
so many
cassettes.
different genres of music, and I wish people would just open their minds. Like, they don't have to love anything. Listen to it, see what you think, get some conversation going. Maybe if you started listening to more different types, we wouldn't be in such a bad place in the United States. But
Oh
who
my
knows?
God, isn't that wild? That music, the value of what music can do to your mind is
Yes.
unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Like, let's say I'm gonna walk down the street. I can walk down the street, or I can walk down the street and listen to music, and it's two completely different experiences.
It's these things right here.
And it's
You know,
unbelievable.
those in, I put these in, and I can, one day I might be listening to the Yellow Submarine album from the Beatles, from the live edition from the Las Vegas show. Next day I might be listening to Eazy. The next day I might be listening to Radio Black. The next day I might be listening to Kanye. Or, that's why I tell people, listen to as much music as you can. Listen to either books or read books. And just, you're going to learn so much. And if you can't get away from the 12 blocks that you live in, at least try to do it by music and by books.
Netflix, and that's the thing. Like, books are hard to get into. It's a commitment.
Oh,
It's
listen to them all.
you listen to them audiobooks.
Audible
Exactly.
is my friend. I've got thousands of books on there, and I will jump between books. I love autobiographies. That's why the documentaries at Netflix and HBO Max, I go through documentaries. I just watched the Billy Joel documentary. I had
Documentaries.
no idea that guy was such a.
Oh my God, dude! That
Couple of
guy's
important-
songs are crazy.
His songs.
You can be- and that's right. And that so many artists. That's actually the sign of a great artist. It's not the only sign, and that's where, like, I think being a carrier on the road, one of the benefits of the job is listening to music.
Music, books, listen to podcasts, get that information going, and
But-
he stimulates different parts of your brains as well and gets you thinking.
Dude, some of those Billy Joel songs are amazing.
Oh, his
Wow.
catalog is incredible. But I didn't know half the stuff about. I didn't know that he broke up his best friend's marriage and then was married to her. I didn't know that he was.
Oh no, Eric Clapton.
No, not Eric Clapton. That
No,
was
but
George
no,
Harrison.
but Eric Clapton. That happened with him and George Harrison.
Yes. So he did the same thing. Four
Eric
wives.
Clapton right now is like, what?
Yeah, I did that to who?
Yeah.
No, it's
Wow.
That's why I love documentaries, podcasts.
Well, have you seen Hired Guns? It's on Netflix, I believe, and it's a video about studio musicians.
Oh yes, because Toto, it's funny.
So
it's from
good.
Toto, and it goes off, and that's the yacht rock guys and all these other hired
Yeah,
guns.
and the drummer for Billy Joel tells his story.
Yes. And then the
It's a sad
saxophonist.
story.
Who's the saxophone guy?
I don't know his name, but he's good.
Yeah, there's the one with the big. He always wears a big chain around his neck. He was Pat Benatar's saxophonist, and then he was also did some other people, and he talks about stuff. I love listening to him talk as well.
And,
But and the Eagles were studio
my
bands,
God.
and then all of a sudden they were out. The Eagles were out with Linda Ronstadt, and Toto
Oh,
was
how about was it Creedence Clearwater? No, Leonard Skinner
Skinner.
was a studio band down in. That's why in the song they say, "Muscle Shoals got the swamp rats," and that
Yes.
has to do with that's
With them being a band, a studio band, or
wow,
studio albums,
man.
yes.
There are so many amazing bands. Elijah, this is so cool. Elijah in the live chat says, "I didn't know you listened to NWA and Ice-T." Oh man, I could go on. Eminem. I'm an Eminem freak.
Oh, I love Eminem. Yeah.
God.
What a genius. What a variation of styles he progresses through.
Even Rap God is really good.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I'm like, no way, he still has it? I mean, obviously that's not a recent song, but
Right. Well,
and
think
I
about
do
it.
think
Go ahead.
what were you gonna say? No, you say it.
Eminem is one Tony Award away from having an EGOT.
Oh, how can he? So is that musical performance? Tony?
Musical
Or
theater,
is that
Tony.
stage play?
He's the Tony.
Theatrical?
He's got to have a Tony Award and there's ways of getting that. You look at some of the people that have got that. There's
Put
not
him a
many,
role.
but
Put
he's
him in a
got
role on a stage performance.
he just has to have the music for it. Because
But
all
that is
his
what a Tony is, right? I don't. Yeah.
is for the song, the best song for 8 Mile.
Right.
And then that song also won an Emmy and he's got a Grammy. He just needs the Tony and he gets the global EGOT.
Here's a total curveball. Did you see Billie Eilish perform That's What I Was Made For, the Barbie song, on a piano?
And she
Holy
did that
shit.
at what was that? The Academy Awards. She won.
I was floored.
Her and her brother Phineas
Unbelievable.
are musical geniuses.
Yeah, I don't know much about her. I do remember when I first heard Bad Guy, I was like, wow, that's a really interesting song. It reminded me of when I first heard Lady Gaga. I'm like, what
She
is
was
this?
16 at the time when she did that.
No. I was like,
Her and Phineas were
heck?
super young. And then
That's why I just want to say that's why like Sabrina Carpenter, I'm not impressed. She's like a product.
Yeah, there are too many
Is it
products
just
out there
me?
at the time.
She's a product.
Megan
Which is
Trainor,
unfortunate.
some of these, you're like,
I don't know about Megan Trainor. I don't care about that either. But like Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero, every time that's on, I listen to it.
I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I get sick and tired of these people that just bash people to bash people. I hope her and Travis have an incredible life.
Me too.
Marriage.
Okay, so there's two of us. Yeah. Have an awesome life.
Give
Of course,
people-
the Chiefs are off to a rough start.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm a Packer, so here we go. You know who's a
cares?
funny,
I don't care.
And it's funny, and I don't want to bash anybody who does what they do. I don't like it when people all of a sudden step too far out of their genre and start getting really crazy in politics or really crazy in this or that.
Yeah.
But I like Lizzo.
Oh my gosh, she cracks
With
me
a
up.
flute,
She's
man.
funny as hell, dude.
Yes.
Hair toss, shake my nails, whatever she says. That shit's funny.
And then to blow out the flute. I'm like,
She's
there's
crazy.
so
Whereas
many
like
things
Cardi
that-
B, I don't listen to that, and So yeah, it's not about genre with me. It's about are you trying? Or are you
truly
just selling?
Or are you selling? Yes.
Because I don't the sales. I don't do that. Yeah.
No,
And you know what? Here's a band that popped in my head. Like we haven't gone to metal. Pantera. I love Pantera, dude. Oh my-
Yes.
And Rage Against the Machine. I rage.
I like
That
Rage.
shit's dope. God dang. And I've heard people say like, well, Zach, he came from money. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
I really don't know where he came from.
Hey,
He's amazing.
Yeah.
It's too bad that they couldn't hang on. But actually, Audio Slave, love Audio Slave. And Chris Cornell's voice kills me.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's
sad.
why I'm a fan of Filter. I love what he does. He goes with those really quiet, hey man, nice shot. Then all of a sudden
Oh,
he just gets wild. You know, it's the same thing
awesome,
with
man.
oh, what's his name? I want to fuck you like an animal. Um,
Oh, yeah.
he's got a new album
Nine
out
Inch
for
Nails. Nine Inch Nails?
when
Trent
I
Reznor.
yes, when I heard him do the Crow soundtrack, still one of my all-time favorite movies, The
Dude,
Crow
Fuck You
with
Like an
Community.
Animal's dope.
He did
And then you
that.
get a director like Brian Fincher with him, David Fincher.
David Fincher.
Oh, and that's where, see, this is where you're really
Yes.
reaching into people's souls.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's actually, it's so cool when an awesome musician becomes an awesome composer with an awesome director. And you're really, yeah, that, I'm getting chills.
I love that stuff. That's why I
Man.
remember when they did that, and then all of a sudden Rick Rubin comes out and does Johnny Cash.
I
The
was
year
going to
that
say
he's
Rick
gonna
Rubin
come out.
earlier.
Oh, that
You
guy,
know,
he sit
yeah, Rick
in
Rubin.
literally lay in the room, or he'll sit and he'll just listen, and then he'll play the track back and he'll listen, and he's got no shoes on, he's got just sits
Dude,
there,
what he's hearing must be amazing,
incredible.
right? Right? Because he's hearing every sound.
And he's just absorbing it. He just
And,
he made a comment. I saw it, I don't know if it was 60 minutes or something. He made a comment. He goes, I just let it envelop me. And I listen again, and I keep it becomes one with me. And he was in a studio, and he literally
wow.
had literally shorts on, a t-shirt. He's got no shoes on. He's laying there, and then all of a sudden he just kind of pops up and
Organic.
tells them to do something, and they're like, "What?" Like, do this, and they did that, and he's like, "That's what I wanted. Thank you." I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah. Well, you know, when I listen to, because I love the Beatles, I just freaking love the Beatles. I can't, it's unbelievable what they've done. And it's as if they're still doing it.
Well, Ringo Starr was just in Milwaukee the other day. My daughter
Okay,
was head
yeah.
of the EMS for them the other day.
Yeah, go easy on the Ringo. No,
Well,
that's okay. I know. But what I'm talking about is like when I listen, like Don't Let Me Down and these songs that aren't even the number one songs people think of.
some of
And you're
them,
like,
the sides are just as
God
good.
dang, man, that organ and the guitar and each song is this funky animal. And what the Beatles, but what I want to say is it's the production. I don't even understand how you do it. Where you're spatially placing instruments and sounds. How the hell do you even do that?
And where do you come up with some of these instruments that they've put in their music in the past? You're like, wait a second, what is that? Where are you coming up with that? They were
It's
geniuses. Well, that's
crazy.
why I love Wings.
Geniuses, man.
Paul McCartney and Wings.
Oh, I
I
love
think
Wings. Oh,
he took
hell yeah.
Beatles and just went, woof. That
Well,
was
and it's funny you say that because I'll talk about how like George Harrison's career after the Beatles kicked ass.
it.
I love some of his songs after the Beatles.
Yes, and he did the concert for Tibet, and he did some of the other ones, and then he had his albums, and then you look at what he did with the Traveling Wilburys,
Oh
and
my God, I forgot about the Wilburys. I love the Wilburys.
um,
Which is funny. Here's where this is an age thing. I remember the first time I heard the Wilburys, I was like, "Oh, this is stupid."
you're like, who's this?
And
Jeff?
as I've gotten older, I'm like, "This is amazing." Well, Jeff Lynne, that's another one. ELO, that guy, like Xanadu, the sound of Xanadu freaks me out.
Oh my God, I'm listening to the Olivia Newton-John autobiography.
She's
God rest her.
unbelievable. Oh
And
wow,
he's talking about the Xanadu movie as I'm in there. I'm like, oh yeah, Jeff did that one. I've got that
Xanadu.
in my Apple iTunes.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that was in the 70s. That was the right place for it.
Yes, because it was not a great movie, but you know what?
No, it's not.
As a space.
It's
movie,
not about the movie. It's about the
the soundtrack to
feeling.
my soul.
Yeah, man. Xanadu. That's crazy. Well, shoot, man, it is 6:40. We went way longer than I planned. I knew we would go over an hour, but we went into double overtime.
Hey, no worries. I'm glad I could do it. I look forward to doing it
Awesome,
again
man.
sometime and catching up
Yeah.
on what we're listening to, watching, and catch up with everybody online. Thanks you all for chatting in with us. So we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks in the live chat. I tell you what I've learned is in my earlier shows, it took me forever to say goodbye. So I've learned now just to go ahead and just cut it off and rip it out.
Well, goodbye, Jay. It's been great. Mwah.
Mwah! Thanks, Chris. That was awesome, man. Applause
Thanks, Jay.
button. All
Appreciate
right,
you,
man.
man.
Keep in touch. Thank
Oh,
you.
you too. Please do. We'll talk soon.
All right, take care. Thanks. And that's a cut. Okay, I did it. I cut it off. I ripped it out. That was really, really fun. I knew when I met Chris, because that's the thing is, I'm now like, and this is now we're in the after show, and this is also part of the show. I mean, I've got the show. I don't know. Where's my thing? This is my rundown list. This is what I do this every show. I created this hundreds of shows ago, and so brief recap. I'm a media guy really since like the 90s. I picked up my first VHS camera and stuff in the 80s. And it's funny now when I watch like even like the Kanye thing, the guy is shooting VHS from the 90s. That's how the documentary starts. Anyways, I was there. VHS, all that stuff, and then then I got into streaming and got into YouTube, and also I'm a lifelong media guy. And so with ATI, Auto Business, previously Auto Transport Intel, same thing. What I've done is I've tried to take my passion for media and use it for good in automotive, which is a crazy place. The reason I started ATI is that automotive is so weird. And I'm sure there are other industries that are also very weird and hard to understand and hard to get to know. And really, because that's what I learned early on is like, I don't know why. Nobody wants you to know anything in this industry. They want you to know what they want to tell you. And then that's all you're supposed to know and get back to work. And really, it's crazy. I texted somebody today. Somebody else people find me on LinkedIn all the time and ask me questions and say crazy stuff. Actually, they don't. I'm the one that says crazy stuff. And I said, no wonder people still don't trust car dealers. They don't. The reason is that too many people in automotive still are lying to you. God, stop it. Just be real about the industry. Just give it a shot. Just try. You're making plenty of money. You're making money hand over fist. How many yachts do you need? Anyways, on ATI, I want you to try to learn about the industry and, yeah, man, and maybe enjoy life. Holy crap. Can you really do that? And I think this is why people are so freaked out, and it's all these, political lefty righty wars and guns, and people are fucking pissed off. And I know why they are. Because our lives are full of bullshit. I don't know why. God dang. Whew. Religion's not working. Relationships aren't working. Companies are not working. Now AI's putting people out of work. Everything costs too much. All these racial divides. Jesus H. Anyways, I make a little automotive business channel along the way. And what I've tried to do, and people know this, a lot of people still don't like it, or they don't like me, or whatever. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff not to like. But I've tried to make the only honest human being channel in automotive. And I'm still going. I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep going at this point. I think what's happened is there are some businesses that fucking hate me. There's some people that hate me. But I'm just going to keep doing it because we live in a world of podcasts. Oh my God. You could throw a rock and it'll bounce off 20 podcasters. It seems like 1 out of every 5 people that loses a job starts a podcast. I don't know why. I started a podcast because I'm a lifelong media guy. And also because I think there's something to teach in automotive. Having said that, I started to think about life itself. I am going to keep doing this because I know a lot about the automotive industry, and I think there's just a lot of stuff that just needs to be said out loud. And there is a great resignation from like conferences and all this crap. People don't care anymore. They don't care about fake content crap. They don't care. They're barely hanging on to their jobs. They're barely hanging on to their lives. And they're just trying to learn as much as they can in automotive and actually, build a future or a career or something. So, anyways, this is the channel for that. It's ATI Auto Business. What an ending. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and run the car hauler. Why not? There was a time I thought I would never run it again. But now it's become some kind of badge of irritation. Punk rock. Peace out, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.